Hey everyone, welcome back to our channel. Today we're diving into a topic that's super important but often overlooked: burnout. We throw the word around a lot, don't we? But when do you know it's the real deal? Are you feeling overwhelmed or just plain lazy? Let's find out together. Okay, so you're tired, like really tired. We've all been there, right? Pulling all-nighters, cramming for exams, binge-watching our favorite shows. But what if it's more than just a lack of sleep? What if it's burnout whispering in your ear? Constant fatigue is a major red flag when it comes to burnout. We're not talking about your average "I need another coffee" kind of tired. This is a deeper exhaustion that seeps into your bones no matter how much sleep you get. Imagine dragging yourself through the day, your energy reserves completely depleted. Even simple tasks feel monumental. You're mentally and physically drained, and even the things you used to enjoy feel like a chore. This kind of fatigue is your body's way of screaming, "Hey, I need a break." It's a sign that you've been pushing yourself too hard for too long, and your mind and body are starting to protest. Think about it. We wouldn't ignore a flashing warning light on our car's dashboard, would we? We'd take it as a sign to pull over and investigate. Well, our bodies deserve the same kind of attention. If you're constantly feeling wiped out, don't just brush it off as laziness. It could be your body's way of telling you that you're running on empty. Listen to those signals and give yourself permission to rest and recharge. Remember that time you tried to watch a movie but got completely lost in your thoughts? You were physically present, but your mind was miles away, wandering through a maze of unrelated ideas and worries. Or started reading a book but couldn't get past the first page. The words seemed to blur together, and no matter how hard you tried, you just couldn't make sense of the sentences. Yeah, we've all been there. It's a common experience, and you're definitely not alone in feeling this way. But when does this inability to concentrate become a sign of something more serious? When does it cross the line from a temporary distraction to a chronic issue that affects your daily life? Burnout can do a real number on our focus and attention span. It's not just about feeling tired, it's about a deep, pervasive exhaustion that seeps into every aspect of your life. It's like our brains are stuck in a fog, unable to process information or stay on track. You might find yourself staring at your computer screen, unable to remember what you were supposed to be doing. Suddenly, even the smallest tasks feel overwhelming, and our minds wander aimlessly. The to-do list that once seemed manageable now feels like an insurmountable mountain. Imagine trying to solve a puzzle with missing pieces. No matter how hard you try, you can't see the full picture. That's what it's like trying to concentrate when you're burnt out. Your thoughts are scattered and you can't seem to bring them together. Your brain is scattered, your thoughts are racing, and you just can't seem to piece it all together. It's like trying to catch a handful of sand. The more you try, the more it slips through your fingers. This lack of focus can manifest itself in different ways. It can affect your work, your relationships, and even your hobbies. Maybe you find yourself rereading the same sentence over and over again, unable to absorb the information, or zoning out during important meetings, missing key points and struggling to keep up with the conversation. You might struggle to remember simple things, like where you put your keys or what you were about to say, or find it impossible to quiet the constant chatter in your mind. It's like there's a never-ending stream of thoughts that you just can't turn off. It's like our brains are saying, "Enough is enough. We can't handle any more information right now." They're begging for a break, a moment of peace. And you know what? They have a point. Our brains are incredibly powerful, but they also have their limits. Our brains need time to rest and recharge, just like any other part of our body. Without proper rest, they can't function at their best. So if you're constantly feeling distracted and unable to focus, don't beat yourself up about it. It's a signal that your brain needs a break. It could be a sign that you need to take a step back, prioritize your well-being, and give your brain a break. Sometimes, the best way to move forward is to take a moment to pause and recharge. Chapter 3. Feeling cynical? You're not alone. Remember when you were a kid and everything felt new and exciting? The world was a playground, full of endless possibilities and adventures waiting to be discovered. Remember that feeling of wonder and possibility? Every day was a new opportunity to learn, grow, and experience something magical. Yeah, burnout can really suck the joy out of life, can't it? It creeps in slowly, turning vibrant colors into dull shades of gray. When we're burnt out, it's not just our energy levels and focus that take a hit. Our motivation dwindles, and tasks that once seemed manageable now feel overwhelming. our entire outlook on life can shift, leaving us feeling cynical, detached, and emotionally drained. It's like a fog that clouds our vision, making it hard to see the beauty around us. That passion you once had for your work? Gone. The excitement that used to drive you has vanished, replaced by a sense of monotony. That spark of creativity that used to ignite your soul, extinguished. The ideas that once flowed freely now feel forced and uninspired. In its place, a sense of apathy and disillusionment settles in. You start to question the value of your efforts and the meaning behind your actions. Imagine looking at a world full of colour, but only seeing shades of grey. The vibrancy of life seems to fade, leaving everything feeling flat and lifeless. That's what it's like to experience burnout-induced detachment. The world moves around you, but you feel like a passive observer, disconnected from the energy and excitement. You might find yourself withdrawing from social situations, avoiding interactions that once brought you joy and connection, feeling disconnected from your loved ones, as if a barrier has formed between you and the people you care about, and questioning the point of it all. The things that used to bring you happiness now feel meaningless, and you wonder if you'll ever feel that joy again. It's like a wall goes up, separating you from the things that used to bring you joy. Hobbies, interests, and passions that once defined you now seem distant and unimportant. You might find yourself thinking, what's the point? The drive that once propelled you forward feels like it's vanished, leaving you in a state of confusion. Or does any of this even matter? The goals and milestones that once motivated you now seem trivial and unimportant. And honestly, those feelings are valid. It's important to acknowledge them and understand that you're not alone in experiencing them. When you're burnt out, it's hard to see the light at the end of the tunnel. The journey feels long and arduous, and the destination seems out of reach. But here's the thing, just because you're feeling cynical and detached right now doesn't mean it's a permanent state. Doesn't mean you've become a hopeless cynic. It's a temporary phase, a signal that something needs to change. It's a sign that you need to reconnect with yourself, rediscover your passions, and find ways to reignite that inner spark. Take small steps towards activities that once brought you joy, and find ways to reignite that inner spark. Remember, it's okay to seek help and take time for yourself. Your well-being is worth the effort. Chapter 4. Your body's trying to tell you something. We often think of burnout as a purely mental or emotional state, but the truth is, it can manifest itself in physical ways too. Our bodies are incredibly intuitive, and they have a way of letting us know when something's not quite right. When we're constantly pushing ourselves to the limit, our bodies go into survival mode. Stress hormones like cortisol surge through our systems, wreaking havoc on our physical health. And let me tell you, it's not pretty. Headaches become a regular occurrence, like a constant drumming in your skull. Stomach issues crop up, leaving you feeling nauseous and uncomfortable. Muscle tension tightens its grip, turning your shoulders into knots and your back into a stiff board. It's like our bodies are waving a giant red flag, desperately trying to get our attention. They're saying, hey, something's got to give. We can't keep operating under this much stress. But here's the thing about physical symptoms. They're easy to ignore, especially in the early stages. We pop a painkiller for the headache, an antacid for the upset stomach, and tell ourselves we'll rest when we have more time. But ignoring these warning signs only allows the burnout to fester and grow stronger. It's like ignoring a small leak in a pipe, hoping it will magically fix itself. Eventually, that small leak can turn into a burst pipe, causing significant damage. Chapter 5. From high achiever to just getting by. Remember that feeling of accomplishment after crushing a deadline or nailing a presentation? The adrenaline rush, the sense of pride, and the recognition from your peers and superiors. It's a high that many of us chase in our professional lives. But then burnout can really put a damper on productivity, can't it? It sneaks up on you, slowly draining your energy and enthusiasm until you're left feeling like a shadow of your former self. It's like our motivation has packed its bags and gone on a permanent vacation. The drive that once propelled us forward now feels like a distant memory. When we're burnt out, our usual drive and ambition dwindle, replaced by a sense of apathy and procrastination. Tasks that once excited us now feel like burdens we can barely lift. Tasks that used to take hours now stretch out into days, and even the smallest accomplishments feel like climbing Mount Everest. The weight of our responsibilities becomes almost unbearable. Imagine a car sputtering along on an empty tank of gas. It struggles to move forward, each mile feeling like an insurmountable challenge. That's what it's like trying to function when you're burnt out. Every task, no matter how small, feels monumental. You're running on fumes, and it's only a matter of time before you come to a grinding halt. You're running on fumes, and it's only a matter of time before you come to a grinding halt. The exhaustion is not just physical, but mental and emotional as well. This decrease in performance can manifest itself in different ways. You might start missing deadlines, making mistakes you never would have before, or simply not putting in the same level of effort. Maybe you find yourself making careless errors, missing deadlines, or simply not putting in the same level of effort as you used to. The frustration builds and the cycle of burnout continues. The quality of your work might suffer, and you might feel like you're just going through the motions. Each day blurs into the next, and the passion you once had for your job fades away. It's like our brains have hit the pause button, unable to muster the energy or enthusiasm to keep up with the demands of our daily lives. The mental drain is palpable, and it affects every aspect of our work. And you know what? That's okay. It's important to recognize that burnout is a natural response to prolonged stress and overwork. We all experience dips in our productivity from time to time. It's human. What matters is how we respond to these challenges and take steps to recover. But if you're consistently struggling to meet your usual standards, it's important to take a step back and assess the situation. Reflect on what's causing the burnout and how you can address it. It could be a sign that you need to reevaluate your priorities, set more realistic expectations, and give yourself permission to slow down. Remember, it's okay to take a break and recharge. Your well-being is more important than any deadline or project. Thanks for watching! If you found this video helpful, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Remember, it's okay to not be okay. We all experience burnout at some point in our lives. The important thing is to recognize the signs and take steps to address it. Take care of yourselves and see you in the next video.